Here we are for part 2, folks, and it's going to be a great part.
Yes. Randy Orton. Is he coming back? But who is he coming for?
Yes.
Plus, JR in talks with TNA.
I am shocked.
Whose career is finished and
Whose career is starting anew.
anew in 2015. Where will they be? We'll let you know all this. Plus, we're going to talk about our Evolution.
A mark-out event.
A huge mark-out event for NXT. You don't want to miss part 2.
Come on back. Right here. 7 seconds. And we'll get down to it. Welcome to Top Row Rally, episode 39. One show closer to the big year-ender, our big Christmas special.
Debut of Jibs.
Remember, you asked for it. Oh, you're going to get it, folks.
That's true.
But this week in wrestling news, it was a huge
Huge
week
week.
for not Raw, not SmackDown, not TNA, not even Ring of Honor. It was a huge week
Three
for
letters.
NXT.
Huge event. But before we get to teaser. But
Oh, yes,
before
we're going to
we get
make you wait.
Before we get there, they're saying it's possible Randy Orton will be at TLC this Sunday night.
Well, he's done with filming this movie, so
And he's not really injured, so yeah.
I expect him to be back.
And they're saying he's supposed to be going face turn here. He's supposed to be going after
Which
Seth
he
Rollins. He does hate. But they're saying, will he cost John Cena or will he cost Rollins? Obviously, in the storyline, because Cena's going towards Brock, Seth Rollins is going to be the one to get costed in that match, and Randy Orton's going to start that up. So you can have Randy Orton and Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble. Or are you going to have them both in the Royal Rumble, and the two of them then go to the Elimination Chamber?
There's no Elimination Chamber, remember?
There's not. There's Fastlane.
To WrestleMania.
But are they going to have the Elimination Chamber match on
No,
Fastlane?
they will not.
So they're going to totally get rid of that match?
Totally get rid of it.
Too dangerous for the PG era.
They'll have the contender for the title already. The champion will have Brock already.
Then they need to put the
that.
Elimination Chamber in another event like SummerSlam.
That's what they're talking about, which would be good.
Ooh, they need to do that.
But, you said you think Randy's going to cost Seth.
Yeah.
I do too. But,
Exactly.
I'm going to play devil advocate here.
Devil's advocate, okay.
He comes in. He's going to take out Seth, and he takes out Cena.
Interesting.
And he somehow wins the No More Contenders tournament. Or whatever the hell they have. So he faces Brock at the Royal Rumble, which lets John Cena win the Royal Rumble.
Interesting.
And we get Brock and John Cena at WrestleMania, the biggest show.
Well, we're getting Roman Reigns, buddy. But that's
maybe he's
another
not ready
talk.
yet. Maybe
That's
they're not
another
ready
talk.
for him yet.
Did you see what he said at our Evolution?
Of course I did hear what he said.
He's going to be the first alumni to win the belts.
Whatever.
Interesting. But we want to talk about what we said in the little
I mean,
teaser.
if you go off the wrestling show, yes. If you go off the NXT name, no. Daniel Bryan is the first. Because he
True.
was in NXT.
Yes,
And he also
it was
became
a
a
reality
champion.
show type thing.
Yes, but still, if you go off the show,
right,
if you go off the name, it's Daniel Bryan. If you go off the wrestling show, yes, then it will be.
right.
But what I'm afraid of, if they jam Roman Reigns down our throat,
People get tired of him like they do.
people
Cena.
will turn their backs on him, and
I
they're
hope
going to have
not.
a big loss.
I hope not. But
I
we
don't
said
know.
JR's in talks with TNA. What is he in talks with TNA about, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you know he's working with Global Force Wrestling. He will be commentary for January the 4th.
Yes, their big show.
Their big show.
Kingdom 9.
Kingdom 9. It's the WrestleMania of Japan.
Is this a
gonna be the
one-off
commentator.
deal?
It could
Or
be.
will he continue on?
Will he do that? But reason why he contacted TNA, the reason why he was in talks with TNA is because he needs a broadcast partner, buddy.
Of course.
And he talked about using Mike Tenay. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that Mike Tenay has agreed to a new deal that will see him remain with TNA Wrestling going forward for at least the next year.
But not
That
a booth.
said, It remains to be seen what his on-air job will be, since the current plan is to replace him with Josh Matthews, a WWE guy with a WWE guy, Taz. Interesting. Jim Ross, though, contacted TNA recently asking them to loan out Mike Tenay for the upcoming Tokyo Dome show. JR wanted to run a two-man booth with him in exchange for plugging the TNA product during the New Japan pay-per-view. What? Free publicity? Great.
And then Dixie said
But
yes.
the offer was turned down.
What? You're getting free publicity on another pay-per-view and you say no?
Publicity that
Stupid.
and this pay-per-view has huge publicity going for it. So people are going to watch it. The American fans want to know about all the fuss going on with New Japan.
Plus, it's got JR. And
Exactly.
people love to listen to JR do commentating.
Exactly.
There's you go, Dixie. There's your problem.
You're too afraid.
Also, I guess Vince is stopping her growth on this, too.
Of course.
That's you stopping your growth.
At every turn.
You loaned a guy who they don't like listen to anyway, Mike Tenay.
Clearly,
Let him
they're taking him
go.
off the
Let
boat.
him go and do commentate with JR for one show.
One show.
And you get a free plug.
What I'm trying to figure out is what are they going to do with Mike Tenay? Okay, they already have a ring announcer. They already have Jeremy Borash and Christy Hemme doing, or Christy Hemme's the ring announcer. Jeremy Borash does the backstage interviews. Josh Matthews and Taz will be the commentary booth. So why does he need an on-air role? Is he going to be like the new GM when they start over or something? I don't understand what they're going to do with Mike Tenay. I'm so confused. But on to Ring of Honor
We got
news.
two big Ring of Honor news thing here.
Adam Cole may be injured. He may need to take some time off for soul. That's easy for me to
It's
say.
easy for you to say.
Souls. I can't do it. Say it.
Shoulder.
Shoulder, not
Surgery.
soldier. Not soldier. That's part one.
Shoulder surgery.
Although at this time it's not known how serious it may be, but Jay Briscoe retained his championship over Adam Cole at Final Battle. However, the original plan was for Cole to win the gold back in Briscoe's streak. Either way, the concern was enough for management to decide to keep the title on Briscoe.
Doing that way, they are concerned about it. I
They
think
are.
he will be gone for a while. And I mean, Jay Briscoe's a good Ring of Honor champion. On to other Ring of Honor news, which is very surprising.
Huge.
Somebody
We
I don't
said
even
someone's career was getting a fresh start in the American television networks.
Yes.
Fresh start. So who is it?
That man is Alberto Del Rio. Will be
Exactly.
debuting in Ring of Honor.
And he's got quite a few dates already lined up for Ring of Honor. He's going to be on their pay-per-views. He's going to be on their TV tapings. It's going to be big. They got
Until
some
he
stuff
goes on to Lucha Underground, yes.
Absolutely, because he did say that he was going to be with two promotions that have TV deals in 2015. So he could do one set of TV tapings and a pay-per-view and some house shows, live events with Ring of Honor, and then the other half of the year be with Lucha Underground and do tapings with them, because they've already, according to what I was told by Ezekiel Jackson when I met him at WrestleCade, he said they had already taped 11 episodes.
Name dropper.
Name dropper. I'm inside info people, but he had said they already had filmed 11 episodes, so they're 11 episodes in.
Wow.
So they've already got plenty of material. So he can come in after the 11 episodes,
Yeah.
and then he can still do his Ring of Honor stuff. He has got big things coming for him.
He does.
It's great.
And I mean, I'm fine with it.
I'm glad to see that even though people are leaving the WWE, that there's so much going on in the independent scene. Independent scene, to me, they keep saying indie wrestling's dying. No, to me, indie wrestling is booming right now.
Oh, yeah, I believe so.
Indie wrestling is coming back. And I've even saw where Joey Ryan put on Facebook that it's amazing, it's weird where their business is when you have when you have some of his friends that have been offered contracts by the WWE, turning them down to stay in the indies.
But you have more freedom. I can understand
do.
that. I mean,
You can
'cause
make
you
your
have
own
to-
bookings.
You have to pretty much change your whole life if you go to WWE.
Maybe they have regular jobs and they just want to do bookings every now and then,
Right.
and that's all they want to do. Hey,
Which
guess
is fine.
what? You can do that and not go to WWE.
Now, speaking of independence, since we're talking about them,
Yes.
a longtime independent wrestler, Corey Graves,
Who was Sterling James Kingdon, I believe it was.
well, he received several concussions.
A lot.
I mean, so bad that the doctors did not want him to compete anymore. So at NXT, the
Yes, he was a
pre-show,
former tag team champion of NXT with Adrian Neville.
who lost his Ascension.
Yes, they lost it to the Ascension.
But at the NXT pre-show, he announced that he is officially retiring from the ring.
yes, he is done. But he had good news.
He did have good news. But that night, he went on to the broadcast booth where he will be, because he signed a 2-year deal with WWE, so he will be on the broadcast team for at least 2 years. And listening to him,
he did very well.
He did very well. Yes, he did.
He did very well. And so you have the very midget-looking Rich Brannon guy. If you saw him standing,
yes.
oh my gosh, he's short. You have him as the voice. He's like the Michael Cole of the broadcast booth. And then you have it just like Raw. You have 2 former wrestlers. You have Alex Riley, and you have Corey Graves. It's like
but
JBL
Alex
General.
wants the free Riley.
Yes. Well, I saw where he's talked about that. He didn't come up with that. A fan had come up with that when they saw him wrestle on that indie show in was Fairfax, Virginia. Okay, that's his hometown, so they let him wrestle. That's fine. Okay, he said he still works out regularly. He still does a lot of that stuff. And you know what? Every now and then, I'm totally fine with that. But I like his whole thing. The analyst, Alex Riley. He does well in that role.
Hey, you want to take a beating when you just run your mouth?
Because to me, you put
That's
him.
what we do. We don't take a beating. We just run our mouth.
Exactly. You put him back into the fold on Raw, SmackDown. He's going to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
I don't honestly think they're going to give him a main event push. So guess what? Be in the booth and actually have your voice heard.
I know. I mean, why? Then you can move up. You can be on Raw or SmackDown as a
And
as
if you
a
can listen to the
commentator.
NXT commentary, to me, it's not as in your ear type talking. They seem more free flow and they seem more just let's go have a ball out there.
We're gonna let the match speak for itself more than we speak for it.
Exactly.
We're telling the story, but the match is gonna tell a bigger story.
Exactly.
That's what they do. Unlike on Raw, where they talk maybe about, hey, this match is going on, but look at this lovely cup here.
Oh, and Mountain Dew. Gotta love Mountain Dew.
You get this cup on the network, so and then the match is going on, you're like, that's kind of disrespectful, and I hated it when they started doing that crap, but they still do it.
They want to do product placement during matches. The matches need to speak for themselves.
Well, something that put Raw and SmackDown
to shame. To shame.
And I am sorry for TLC, but y'all boys has got to pick it up. Because
but they picked it up last time when NXT first
They're going to have
out.
to again, because if you're not, what's going to be talked about this weekend? NXT TakeOver.
Our Evolution. Ladies and gentlemen,
we started out with a bomb. Kevin Owens, formerly Kevin Steen, started the show off.
Listen to this. I love, if you look at it, you got big indie guy here, 2 big indie guys in the middle of the show, and then 2 big indie guys in the show. They place their indie guys just in the right place, and then they have their people from the Performance Center that aren't big indie people.
Right.
In between all that, they did placement well.
Oh, yes.
They really did.
Well, Kevin Owens won his debut against CJ Parker.
And he was injured already, but it looked great.
One palm strike and
did you see CJ Parker's hand?
Yes.
The palm strike people who racing fake. Shut your mouth. The man, I don't know if it broke his nose. I'm not sure.
No,
what
it
happened.
did not break his nose.
It's just a surface thing, I guess.
Just 6 stitches.
6 stitches cut his nose open right on the top, right on the bridge there. But guess what else? CJ Parker's hand, all the way cut open to the bone, ladies and gentlemen. A gaping hole in the palm of his hand. Wrestling ain't fake, okay?
So his first match, we got a great match and blood.
And you know what? They didn't say, oh, let's stop the match.
No, they didn't stop the match. The ref put on gloves, but he did not stop the match.
Who ironically is a former hardcore wrestler.
Yes.
Love it.
Our next match was for NXT Tag Team titles. The Lucha Dragons. Lucha.
No, I can't wait for the Lucha Dragons to be in a cage match. I mean, it's really going to have me on the edge of my seat.
It is. Me too.
It'll be worth the price of admission.
They took on the Vaudevillians.
I love the Vaudevillians.
I love the Vaudevillians. The promo videos
the throwback to the old ages.
The promo videos they did up to this match were fantastic.
And I love when the guy has the big, announcing thing, and he's like, he announces their names, the spotlight comes on. It is great, and how the screen is black and white the whole time. Love it.
But the Dragons retained their tag team titles.
And they needed to. But there was a promo backstage where the Vaudevillians says, we are not done yet.
Oh, no.
So I could see them going to the next 3 months from now, right before WrestleMania, because it'll be in March.
It will be.
Okay, when they do that one, I can see them having another match there. So.
And then Baron Corbin
in his 45-second.
At least it was about 40. The crowd stopped counting about 30 something, but
Because when they knew it was over, they just couldn't count so they could do the 1, 2, 3.
about 45 seconds he beat
Little
Ty
fun
Dillinger.
fact: did you know who Ty Dillinger is?
I don't remember who
he's
Ty Dillinger was.
Ty Dillinger was Sean Spears, who became Gavin Spears and was on the WWE's version of ECW on Sci-Fi. And then after ECW went away, he was released, hired back again. Now it's Ty Dillinger. So he's actually been on the main roster before.
And he's also got a tag team partner. I think that's the one.
Well, there you go.
I think that's the one. I mean, there's few cookie cutter people down there, so they kind of look the same.
Right. But Baron Corbin won in
About 45 seconds.
45 seconds, and then had a stare down with a man who was in, and the bald guy behind Bull Dipsy. He was loving it. He was like, look at him, look at him, look.
That match will be a big match on the next.
It'll be the next
takeover.
one. Yeah, the next takeover will have two behemoths. A little short guy, but he's huge.
Who can win? Who can beat who the quickest?
Exactly. It's going to be, let's see how long this match goes between the two of them. But I hope it does not go where one of them wins.
No, not right now.
No.
Drag it out. We have the Ascension taking on Hideo Itami and Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, he said he was going to come to the TakeOver event with something you've never seen before.
And
he did.
If you haven't seen it or seen the pictures, you need to see it.
And if you've never seen him on the indies, then you've never seen this before, ladies
the crowd
and gentlemen.
marked out. I marked out.
They must have watched our show.
They must have.
Because after the entrance was over, they literally started chanting, marking out, marking out, marking out. What an entrance it was. He had the whole stringer things down his face.
It's not a one-off deal. It will continue.
They already have it. By the way, plug here. Go to shopzone.com
Yes.
in the almost said TNA. I'm so sorry, NXT. The NXT section. They have so much merchandise for NXT.
Yes.
I mean, it's not a shame to be in developmental anymore.
That's what they need to do.
It's no longer a shame to be in developmental.
No.
I'd be okay with being in developmental because you have more freedom there. But you know what? Go get their products there because we don't all have to have John Cena merchandise.
No, there.
Insane right there, Sami Zayn
Sami
shirt.
Zayn.
I mean, the Bo Leave shirt, everybody loved that too. But they already have a Kevin Owens shirt, which literally looks like somebody taped KO on there.
Yes.
Which is funny if you think about this. Cassius Ohno
I
did
know.
the same thing. Funny. Might have been a little shout out to him a
Could
little bit
be.
there. But then Finn Balor already has a shirt with the whole makeup and everything. I don't know if they're going to keep that makeup every
I
time.
think they probably will.
Maybe for special big events, he might change it up and do different things.
We'll see.
But I hope they change it up every now and then. But huge event, and of course Balor and Itami won that tag match.
Well, the Ascension, they are looking like they're on their way to the big
They've
leagues.
already put a promo on SmackDown
Yes.
talking about them coming up, but they didn't have a date for it yet.
They'll do that a little bit.
They don't want to put a date on there and then have this, and then it's like, oh, well, of course they're going to lose because they're coming up already. And then the NXT Women's Championship.
Another great match.
Ladies and gentlemen, if the women were allowed to go like this on WWE television, the women's division would not be a bathroom break.
No, it's not.
Because this match, I didn't want to get up and go to the bathroom.
No.
I was so excited for this match. Charlotte, the champion, genetically superior.
Could have lost.
She could have lost. And it would have been believable.
Yes.
Because Sasha Banks, she is the boss of NXT. She's a great women's wrestler.
It took It took Charlotte's move off the top rope
Yes.
to finish. Natural selection to finish Sasha
Natural
Banks.
selection. And I love the figure 4 headlock, which
Yes.
Sasha Banks used against Charlotte.
Yes.
Very good match. Very well timed out. Very well put together. I give it up to those two people and whoever the agent was for that match, because that women's match is the best women's match I have seen probably ever.
And
probably
then-
since Trish Stratus has been around.
Oh yeah. And now it's time for the main event for the title. It's been 4, 5, 6 weeks in the making.
Yes.
Sami Zayn, you can't win
the
the
big
big one. He heard it over and over again.
And the stipulation he put on himself against Adrian Neville was not even put into the contract.
No.
It was a personal decision. He said, if I can't beat you, if I can't win the big one, then I'm leaving NXT and I'm not going to wrestle anymore. So it kind of, in a way, if you're a smart wrestling fan,
Yes.
then you kind of knew, of course, he's going to win that.
Of course.
But What an exciting match. I mean, it was everywhere.
Did
Oh
you
my
see the
gosh.
fans on their feet? It seemed like during the whole
I don't remember
match,
seeing them
and
sit
they
down.
had at least 25 to 30 minutes.
They did have 30 minutes. I looked at the time.
It was 30 minutes.
It was
I knew
30
it.
minutes.
It was well placed, well timed. I mean, the matches. I mean, it was up here. It was down. I mean, your emotions were everywhere
Yes.
in this match.
Between the promos, the entrances, and the finish, all that was about 30 minutes, and then they had 10 minutes for the celebration because, ladies and gentlemen, the winner and the new NXT champion in Zayn, Sami Zayn, won the title. He won the big one, and then
But what made icing on the cake? Who was the first one out
person
to
out
give
there,
him a hug? And
Kevin
give him
Owens came out there, who has been his friend for
years. I mean, what was it say? What, 15 years
yes,
or more?
they've been on the indie scene for so many years, and he gave him a hug. He celebrated with him, and then all the faces. But I thought it was a little strange. Tyler Breeze was in the group.
He was.
I thought he was a heel. But they had some women I've never even seen too.
Yes.
You know, coming up, I guess, just to have a crowd in the ring.
Yes. Who carried him around the ring? I mean, it's like Bret Hart from WrestleMania.
Yes. It was Sami Zayn's WrestleMania moment.
It was.
In my opinion. It was a great event. Sami Zayn celebrated. The wrestlers left. Kevin Owens left. Everybody was gone.
And
Sami
then
was walking around, and then Kevin Owens came back out, gave him a hug. He was talking to him. He was, just telling him, "Hey, you did a great job." Blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden,
Zayn's night was ruined.
yes, he dropped him right on the steel rampway, and then he picked him up. I would never want to take this move on their apron because the apron is a TV screen.
Right. But he
He
gave
took it.
him a power bomb
Yes.
onto the ring apron.
On the ring apron, his back
Kevin
hit the
Owens
screen.
making his debut at NXT ruined Sami Zayn's biggest night.
What a turn. He was a face coming into the event and a heel walking out of the event. Not many people can say that. That was a great way to end the show. And so now
And that's
you
right.
know.
They left you hanging.
Cliffhanger, but we
I
already know.
I want next Thursday to be here so fast I can't stand it.
Exactly.
I want to see what's going on. What happened?
Exactly, because this coming up Thursday, there's an exclusive sit-down interview. Renee Young will be interviewing Kevin Owens.
Yes.
And they already announced that before he turned on Sami
Yes.
Zayn. So now the interview has gotten just a little bit better.
And the way that sounds, he will not be in the building.
No.
So Sami Zayn cannot get any revenge next
I don't
week.
think Sami Zayn will be even on the show. Because
Right.
they carted
And
him off.
did you see Regal's face? Regal was pissed.
He was so upset.
He was pissed.
He said that's one of his children, and he brought in Kevin Owens, and he feels like he destroyed his own child. You know what? And I don't think Zayn will be there. I don't believe that he'll be back. I think this whole first set of tapings, yes, spoiler alert, they tape ahead, but this whole first
But
set
they do
of
a great
tapings,
job at
they
it.
They do. But the whole first set of tapings, I don't think Zayn needs to be there. I think they need to do promos showing what happened to Zayn, and then they need to do interviews each week, talking to Kevin
I mean,
Owens.
put a freaking neck brace on him.
Which they did. They I don't know if you saw the video. They stretchered him out. They put him in a vice
they
here and
need to.
everything.
If they don't have him on TV, they need to have him from his home in a neck brace.
Yes.
Talking about how dastardly his best friend of years, Kevin Owens,
After he won the
cost
big
him
one,
cost him the night. I mean,
they
just
just run it this way.
rained
They
on
need to run it
his
this way.
parade.
They need to run it this way. After he won the big one, after he couldn't win the big one for weeks, he wins the big one.
Weeks. You're going to go back
Months, really.
years. You know,
But he wins the big one, and then it's all taken away from him, and the doctors are evaluating him to make sure that he can still wrestle. Because it was his neck, his back.
It writes itself.
It does. You could take him out for the whole first month of tapings and just do the interview segments with him, and the doctors say he may not wrestle again.
I know. It writes itself.
I'm telling you, NXT is something we may be doing whole segments about from now on.
I know.
Because NXT is getting great, because you know that means that the takeover event before WrestleMania is going to be Kevin Owens challenging for the title against Sami Zayn. They do not need to touch the whole 3 months leading up to this.
Nope.
Because it will be so much better if they don't touch each other. But you know what? This right here, and I know we're going over on time.
We are already over. Stay with us, folks. We're almost over with here.
But they need to. Indies, all the indie events, all WWE, TNA, everybody needs to look at NXT, because I was thinking this to myself earlier. NXT is the new measuring stick. They need to look at that and say, you know what, I want to be the best. Well, then you got to be better than NXT, point blank, period.
That's true.
There's no way that you can call yourself the best unless you're better than NXT.
And we're going to end on that part there, folks. Thank you for staying with us. It's about 25 minutes. I appreciate it very
well
much.
Worth it.
We'll be back for everybody's favorite countdowns, and we may still talk about NXT because the event was so fantastic.
So great.
We'll see you shortly.